Hello, let me first start by introducing myself. My name is Lucinda and I hate the sound of my own voice. First world problems aside, my husband convinced me to just stop worrying and take a moment to tell you a little bit about myself and my company. So here goes. This is my son Elijah. He is my world. This is one of my favourite photos of Eli. He'd just fallen asleep on the change table. This is me, much younger and with less clothes on here. In September 2012, I moved over to London on a 2-year working holiday visa. Ended up staying for 5 years. I don't think I really knew true homesickness until I was faced with the prospect of perhaps never returning home to live again. Luckily for me, 3 years into my new London life, I had the opportunity to visit home again. The thing that struck me the most when I returned was the sound of the birds. Terribly jet-lagged, I'd find myself sitting on our veranda at sunrise most mornings and I'd just listen to the symphony of bird sounds. Once a soundtrack to my childhood and something I never even realised I missed until I heard it again. I started longing for the scents that you can only smell in Australia, like the smell of wattle at the start of spring and I guess that excitement of warmer days to come and summer and barbecues and Christmas by the pool and the smell of that coconut scented sunscreen that your mother used to lather on you when you went to the beach and the briny smell of the sea. The smell of the first mango of the season. The smell of fresh linen hanging on the line in the sun. The smell of fresh rain as it strikes the warm earth after a long drought. The smell of freshly cut grass. And the heady perfume of frangipani in the breeze. These scents paint pictures and tell stories. I became obsessed with capturing these stories that transcend time and space. My husband, who is Portuguese, introduced me to a beautiful word in his language called saudade. It's one of those beautiful poetic words that doesn't have a direct translation in English, though a simplistic definition, I guess, of saudade would be a nostalgic longing or yearning for something or someone that is lost. My first 2 years in London, I lived in a share house full of Aussies and Kiwis, and Larry, the token South African. Once strangers, we were all brought together by a love of travel, that and a working holiday club. We used to have parties on our back patio, climb up onto our roof and watch the stars, had randoms staying on our couch. I used to share an attic room with another girl and we would often sit up late and chat about our day and our lives. Our room was tiny, but we made it cosy. We hung up fairy lights and paper cranes and we'd listen to Ed Sheeran on repeat. Looking back, this is one of the first times I can remember feeling saudade. It was my roommate's last night in London before returning home to Australia. I remember that night talking to her in our room after everyone had gone to bed and I just began to feel so emotional and I started crying. She asked me why I was so sad. I said something like, "This is your last night in that bed in this house with all of us. This is the last time we'll all be under the same roof living together. I'm remembering all the good times we had, and I'm so happy and feel so lucky that life has brought us all here to this moment in time. It's so wonderful that it happened, but it's also so sad that we must accept that after tonight, things will never be the same again. We will never be the same again. This time that we spent together away from our families and friends back home in this crazy, lonely city will always be a part of us. And there's something really beautiful and raw and real about being present in this moment and allowing yourself to feel both joy and sadness at the same time. I've since lost touch with the majority of my old housemates from that house, as we've all since parted ways, but I feel like all that we said and all that we did lives on in the walls of that dilapidated house in Tooting.
Just another brilliant idea brought to you by Roxanne.
Australian hand-poured soy wax candles with bespoke scents inspired by nostalgia. This is my story, and these are my candles.